Hi everybody, Brian here from Clean Water Systems. Today we're going to show you how to set up your J-PRO-38 chemical injection pump. These pumps come two voltages, 110 and 220, so they can be wired either directly to your your pressure switch, or you can use a flow switch or run it into a wall. These pumps are also, you can use them for non-proportion and proportional usage. Basically, there's a manual and a auto button here that you use to do that with. And the other thing I wanted to mention is these can be used for chlorination, soda ash, or hydrogen peroxide. So they can be used for all three of these chemicals. So the first thing you're going to want to do is mount it to your mount the pump with a couple of screws here to your tank. These tanks come in four sizes: 10, 15, 25, and 50 gallon tanks. And with your pump, you're going to get an injection check valve that goes into your plumbing, the foot valve that goes down into the base where the water is drawn, the chemicals drawn from, your inlet and outlet fittings, and this little barb here that is used to put your hose on. This is your priming valve here you use to prime the pump. So this guy just pushes up in there. So these fittings all work the same. There's a cap. There's a little collar that goes on. And then you've got the little end piece that fits in. Okay, so basically it fits in like that. You're going to compress that, bring the nut down, and then you'll go ahead and thread it hand tight onto the fitting. These don't need any thread tape or anything. They seal by themselves just with a crimp. So the soft tubing is what's used down inside the tank, and then the thicker tubing is what's used to go to your injection check valve. You drill two 3/8-inch holes into your tank, one for this line, this line just sticks in about 2 inches or so. So as I mentioned, take the clear tubing. You're going to install your foot valve first. It's going to go connect up to here, and it'll sit down inside the tank a couple inches off the bottom. Locate your hole directly below this bottom port. Then you're going to go ahead and install the foot valve to a piece of the soft tubing. Just like this. Slide it on up. You're going to run it down in the tank, and what you need to do is bring it up through this hole, and you're going to want to trim it so it's about 1 inch to 2 inches off the bottom of the valve. Okay, so at this point we'll put that on. Slide the little collar on like that. Depress that down in there. Then you're just going to simply thread that right up into your bottom of the pump. And again, there's an O-ring here. You just need to hand tighten these. You don't need to use any wrenches on these. So just hand tighten that. So after you use the softer clear tubing to install the foot valve down in here in your tank, you're going to connect this end to your injection port. So your injection check valve. Don't use more than 2 wraps of Teflon tape here on these threads. Here in the shop, I like 1.5 wraps of tape, and then a little of the sealant, and that'll go directly into your plumbing. It'll attach from here into your injection check valve right here. You go ahead and plug this in. Okay, so this pump here you can use in manual mode or auto mode. The manual mode is going to be if it's located between the your well pump and your pressure tank. You wire it into your flow switch, so when your well pump kicks on, it kicks on. This would be a non-proportional type situation without a flow meter. So what you're going to do here is you're going to put it into manual mode, and you'll either use the 50% or 100%. And you notice here when it's in the 25 external, the light is orange, so it's not going to actuate. So we'll set it at 50%. This is your stroke knob. So this actually tells you each pump how much it's going to inject. So you can go from 0% to 100% here. You only want to adjust this while the pump is actuating. You don't want to be adjusting this when the pump's not actuating. Okay, so what you're going to do to start with is, once you get it all hooked up and you're all mounted up and plumbed up, you're going to open this valve here about a full turn. You're going to put it into the manual mode, and you're going to watch, and you're going to wait until you see the water here coming out. Once that happens, you're primed up to your pump. You can go ahead and close this priming valve. And you can hear the sound change. So now you're primed, and you can see that now this is full of water, and we're actually going to start building up pressure here at the injection port. Okay, so now your pump is primed. Okay, so now if you're going to set your pump up and use it as a proportional pump, which means you're going to be injecting solution downstream of your pressure tank, you're going to need to install a flow meter. And again, these flow meters come in several sizes. This is a 3/4 inch here. So you'll need the cable connection for this. Go ahead and hook your blue wire to black wire and red to white wire. And then when this thing sees flow, it'll signal the pump to fire. And for that, what you're going to do, once you're primed in manual, you'll go ahead and switch to auto. You'll need to go down here in your 25% external. And now you see the lights green. So for every gallon that goes through your flow meter here, this thing's going to actuate. Again, what you want to do is you want to go into manual, adjust your flow for your output, and then back into auto. And that way you can adjust, use your stroke knob here to adjust your, help you dial in your strength of your whatever chemical you're injecting. Okay, so that about wraps up today's lesson on setting your pump up. Again, 110 or 220, they can be wired differently. Look at your installation guide, your startup guide. Also, look at that for whatever chemical you're injecting on how to adjust your solution strength. Okay, have a good day.